Hello and welcome into the season premiere of Sitting Down with Sgar. I'm the football voice of the Hoyas, Jeremy Huber, and every week I'm joined by Georgetown head coach Rob Scarlatta. Rob, thank you so much for joining us again.
Jeremy, great to see you. Appreciate everything you've done for us in the past and looking forward to a great year this year.
Yeah, we are definitely looking forward to some exciting games, especially the homestand to get things started 3 in a row for the Hoyas. Wanted to kind of start not with where we are right now, but going back a bit. All coaches have an emphasis on the offseason to get their guys ready for the starts of a season. What was the emphasis this offseason for you?
For our entire ball club, it was to welcome, between our newcomers and transfers, we have about 30 new players coming into our program. And we really challenge our upperclassmen to make sure that our culture and the way we do things here, playing like a Hoya was solid, so that they were coming into an environment where they could feel very welcomed, understand what the mission is, and just really concentrating on getting 1% better each day, through the spring, through our summer program. And now, which it's unbelievable to think we're a couple days away from an opener in fall camp. Feels like we just started it yesterday.
Yeah, and I know that the camp can feel long, but I also know as coaches, you got to get these guys ready. It's interesting, with your squad, 18 and 19, very good seasons. That one play here or there, those are winning campaigns. Tough last couple years. Does it feel a little bit like you guys have turned a page a bit to maybe get it back closer to where you were in 18 and 19?
Yeah, you want to make sure that you look at what you've done in the past so you can do a great job moving forward and keep the things that are working for you and pivot and look for new ways to have success, especially on the field. So for us, we're very excited about our spring season, our summer off season, and the preseason camp. One of the main reasons for that has been the Iron Hoyas strength conditioning staff. Torrin Shanahan is our strength coach and has done a great job with our players. We were very blessed to have about 60 of our returners here in June, and basically had the entire team, 90 players here in July, with the exception of 13 of our returners that were doing internships in various cities, whether it was Miami or New York up on Wall Street, out in Chicago, down in Dallas. So, for us, we feel like we have a full off season under our belt, coming out of the spring season through summer and into preseason here. So have seen a lot of gains in the weight room, and that's starting to show up on the field. Looking forward to putting that into action here in the 23 campaign.
Rob, we talked about this earlier in the preseason. I think it's a good way to approach camp. Now, the how was camp question, that's not good, but I know you said that really you guys like that sophomore class, a lot of good freshmen, and anytime there's youngsters, that creates competition. What was the competition level like in camp this year?
As coaches, I think it's an art form in preseason camp to mix being physical and finding out who can play from your newcomers, but also being smart and keeping your players healthy so we're ready for the season. So I really give the coaches a lot of credit for being able to accomplish those two things. And the competition level is extremely high. We do have some good young players that are pushing for time even now walking into the opener. So each day in practice, we have a couple different featured drills where it's offense versus defense and some money balls and the one-on-ones for the O and for the receivers and DBs. And then inside drill has been a huge emphasis for us. We keep talking to our entire team that you win games up front, through the middle. So the competition between the offensive and defensive lines this fall camp has been really great.
Well, that does my heart good as an old nose tackle. So you got to love that. But of course, the guy that I could sometimes look the nose to nose and eyes to eyes with, the quarterback. Again, always so important. You have a new guy under center, no matter who it is. What's the quarterback situation right now for your Hoyas?
Yeah, great competition. With we're very blessed to have 5, fifth-year players coming back. Very fortunate here at Georgetown have unbelievable graduate schools, and our guys are taking full advantage of that. So Tyler Knopp is coming back for us at quarterback. Extremely accomplished coming out of high school. Has played for us and is definitely a dual threat. He's in competition with Danny Lauder, and we have some newcomers here. A couple freshmen, and Jake Holstag and Jordan Holmes, and transfer in Des Thomas. So that competition has been bolstered by, Connor Katz, who's coming back from a knee injury. So I think Coach Jack McDaniel's done a great job with that room. It's a really close room, and as much competition that they're in up in that room, they're doing a good job of pushing each other and working towards being successful this season under center.
Rob, want to switch over to the defense before we get to Marist. Your defense last year, Coach Doherty has said, I think you've said it, not up to the Hoya standard that was there for so long. How confident you or your guys can get back to that standard on the defensive side of the ball?
I have the utmost confidence in Coach Doherty and what we've done. I've been blessed to, be mentored by, Coach Benson, Bob Benson, and Kevin Kelly and Coach Doherty throughout my career. So it's not a scheme issue. I think we've added some great coaches on the defensive side. Shane Eachus has come in the secondary for us, and Kevin Snyder has come in up front to really help us with teaching our guys, being able to bring the younger guys along and, trying to do simple better and making sure that we're extremely fundamental. In preseason camp, the mantra was we were going to take care of the football on offense every day, doing ball security drills and those things, and we were going to tackle every single day, whether we're in full pads, helmets, no pads at all. So those have been two things fundamentally that we've worked on every day, every practice. Hopefully those show up here, especially, those are things that you're really looking to make sure you take care of in the first 3 games, starting with this weekend against Marist.
That's a good transition, Coach. The Red Fox is a team that you, Coach Doherty, go so far back with Coach Parody. And again, these are teams that see each other almost every year. It's almost become like a conference game. Give me your thoughts on the Red Foxes and how these two teams know each other very well.
Yeah, Coach Parody is the longest head coach now in FCS, and has done a really great job up to Marist. They've just improved their facilities again, from the stadium to a new locker room and weight room facilities. So they do a good job recruiting up there. They're extremely well coached. They play hard. It's a good early season game for us just to test where we are overall, in all 3 phases. So I know Coach Parody has added some new coaches just like we have. So those are things that it's not the same old. It'll be interesting in the first quarter here to see, what's changed with their offense. Defensively, they've done a good job year after year, and they'll be, I think, very similar to what we've seen in the past. So, overall, it's a really good game for us to open with. I think, it sounds a lot like coach speak, but we're just worried about what we're doing. There's 2 things, tackling and taking care of the football. If you watch a lot of these opening games in week 0 and week 1 coming up, those are the 2 things that these games, hinge on. So we're really looking forward to the challenge, and we'll know that, Coach Parody will have his team ready to go when he comes down.
Well, Coach, now time for our Sitting Down with Sgar spotlight, joined by a special guest today. And when it comes to the Hoyas, he's a very special guest right now. It's Ty Reed, the grad student wide receiver, and maybe more importantly, the recipient of the Joe Ekabachi Memorial number 35 jersey. Ty, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Coach, wanted to pull you in here. Again, I don't do this justice when I talk about it, but the story of Joe Ekabachi and why it was decided to go with the number 35 jersey as a living memorial.
Yeah, it's I know this is a short interview, so I'll try to keep it brief. Joe Ekabachi was a captain for us, graduated from Georgetown, beloved by his teammates. He was killed in the towers in the attacks in 9/11, was a traitor for Cantor Fitzgerald. And, Joe had that personality when he walked in the room. He was going to light everybody up and make the people around him better. So back when this occurred, at the time, Joe's brother, Tom, one of his best friends who played with us, Chris Murphy, was president of the Gridiron Club at the time, and former head coach Bob Benson and myself all decided that it would be a fitting tribute to have one player, not as an award, but to serve as a representation of all the things that Joe represented for our program. And honestly, it's taken on a life of its own with 19 recipients, and really honored to have Ty Reed continue the tradition. This was a really hard year when we had the presentation. I'd spoken to a lot of the former 35s, which we do, and to Tom about the selection. We had 6 to 7 legitimate candidates for this award, which bodes well for our program and our university at large. So the decision was made to have Ty represent this tradition because of all the things that he's brought to our program on and off the field. He's got a toughness to him that is unique, in my opinion. And I think, he embodies a lot of things that this football team will embody both on and hopefully, off the field, for our program as we get into 2023.
Ty, you've been around this program for a while now. What were the emotions when you found out you were going to get to wear the number 35?
Yeah, it's definitely an honor to be able to represent that jersey as well. And like you mentioned, I've been here for a few years, and just seeing the previous recipients of the award and who they were, what they stood for, how they carried themselves. It's truly just a blessing to be a part of that, group of people, people who worked hard, who did well in the classroom, who are successful professionally, and also are great people and great leaders. It's just nice to be in that position to be established with those group of guys as well. So definitely an
Ty,
honor.
Ty, do you feel the responsibility?
Yeah, yes, I do. Um, Especially at least this past week, as soon as I received the award, and not the award, as soon as I received the jersey, and I felt different. I have felt different. I felt like it was something that I was going to grow into. It's something that's going to grow me as well. It's going to bring the best out of me. So I definitely do feel a responsibility as I'm carrying this memorial jersey.
Ty, you talk about leadership. That starts in your own group. It can be. You're one of the older statesmen in that wide receiver group. What have you done to try and make sure you can help push those younger guys and yourself forward to be a really good receiver group again?
Yeah, just really just been encouraging our guys. We're a talented group, and we're all gonna play. We're gonna rotate. We're gonna be fast. We're gonna be explosive. So really, just encouraging our guys to stick to the script. You know, it's gonna be week one. It's gonna be a rotation, but it's gonna be a long journey. We all can make plays. We all can contribute. So really, just encouraging each other, making sure everyone believes in themselves, and don't get too caught up about the current situation, but make sure you're focused on the big picture as well.
Last one for you, Ty. Why Georgetown?
Yeah, great question. Great question. When I came and took a visit, and the whole recruiting process with Georgetown was very unique and very honest and real. Particularly, I was recruited by Coach Spence, and I really liked his approach. He was very honest. But as I took my visit to campus in 2018, December 2018, I had a meeting with Coach Sgar and just learning what this program was all about and what it embodied. The 4 for 40, the Sisu and Magis, all that, it was clear. It was clear to me, and I definitely saw myself fit in that mold. And it felt like it was the right place to me. It felt like it, even when I couldn't really see it. So just to also for that to come full circle and to be a representation, to representing this program as the 3-5 and embodying the Sisu, embodying the 4 for 40 and Magis, it's just all full circle because that's honestly what I came here to do. So yeah, that's why I love Georgetown. I'm happy to be back.
Scar, give me quickly the quintessential Ty Reed story.
It has nothing to do with him having the football. Go back to Columbia. We throw an interception on a sprint out, and Ty is running the other way, full speed, gets knocked down out of bounds, gets up, and he's one of the fastest players at our level, and runs and makes the play. It won't ever show up in a stat sheet, and that's what we're looking for, right? Selfless, team player, and tough. I can tell you this: if you talk to any of our DBs, when we're running perimeter drill or we're throwing stuff on the edge, you don't want to be locked up with Ty. And those are the things that, that's the toughness we want to bring to the field. That's a competitive nature that we're looking for, and we've been trying to foster this past spring and into preseason camp. So, those are two things that aren't going to show up on stat sheets. They aren't going to be in the voting in the all conference saying, hey, I have this stat. But those are the things that allow you to create a competitive championship culture. And that's what Ty brings to our program.
Well, awesome. Again, Ty, congratulations on the Ekabachi jersey. I know you will wear it with pride and wear it, be a very good representation of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
That'll wrap it up for another edition of Sitting Down with Scar. Remember, Georgetown hosts Marist this weekend, 12:30 Eastern kickoff. See it in person at Cooper Field or watch it online on ESPN+. Thanks to Coach Scarlotta, our guest, Ty Reed, and producer Eliza Kravitz. That's all for this edition of Sitting Down with Scar. I'm Jeremy Huber. Hoya Saxa.